Tell y'all something, man. I don't normally go live. Um, don't normally go live at home. Normally, if I'm outside or at the barbershop or, you know, anywhere else but home, I have to share this with you in a place where I know we're not going to be interrupted. We're talking about manifestation. And there's so many of us that are trying to get it. So many of us that are trying to understand. There's so many of us that are trying to process it so that we may be able to live the type of life that we want to live. We may be able to bring what we've been dreaming about, what we've been thinking about, what we've been speaking about into manifestation. We want to not only have our dream car on our screensaver, we not only just want to be able to look at pictures of our dream home uh, in our phone or in our laptop. Some of us go a little more extreme and we might have it on our bathroom mirror, on our steering wheel, quotes plastered all over the house, pictures plastered all over the house. I've done all of it. Scriptures plastered all over the house. Put up with masking tape, packing tape, duct tape, all kind of stuff all over the place, right? We want to bring it from that point, and there are some of us who also have um, cards. We have index cards, some kind of cue cards or something like that to help us remember all of the things that we're supposed to say while we are, what's going on, Charming Champ? While we are in the process of manifesting. I've been reading books on manifesting, watching videos right here on this platform, right here on YouTube on manifesting. What's going on? Refugia Garcia, did I say that right? Refugia Garcia. What's going on? How you doing? How you doing? Um, there's so many things that I've studied. There's discussions I've been in on. There are um, podcasts that I've watched. There are books that I've read. There are people that I've gotten around that have actually manifested some great things in their life. Multi-millionaires. I was just around some just tonight. Um, and the ones that were actually being honored, recognized tonight is Donnie Wiggins um, and David. So Dave and Donnie were being honored for what they've been able to accomplish in the businesses, David Shands and Donnie Wiggins. And they have, of course, podcasts. One is the Social Proof Podcast. Another one is Full Transparency. That's Donnie's podcast. And another one is The Hot Seat, which is David's podcast. I was able to get around them, and I was even able to ask them a powerful question, what I've learned to be a powerful question. And I've learned to ask this question because of a book named Happy Money. I don't know if you guys ever read that book. Very powerful book. And that coupled with um, a guy I was listening to, his last name is Goddard. I'm not remembering his first name right now. It's going to come back to me. But his last name is Goddard. You looked up Goddard, manifesting, he'll pop up all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Google, YouTube, all over the place, he'll pop up. So in listening and reading, they both were talking about getting into that feeling, right? Of having accomplished the things that you want to accomplish. Getting to that feeling, and if you get to the place where you start to feel that you've already accomplished what you're looking to accomplish, that having that feeling is going to attract it to you. Not just saying it, and not just saying it and believing it alone, but also feeling that, or imagining the feeling of what you're longing for has already manifested. So putting yourself in that place. Now, when I asked the question to Dave and Donnie, I asked them based on what I've learned from Happy Money and what I've watched from Mr. Goddard. I asked them how they felt. How do they feel now having the success that they have, as opposed to how they felt before the things that they have now manifested. Okay? Hello, hello. And they shared with me something very powerful. They said they didn't feel any different. Donnie was talking about she always knew she was going to be successful. She always knew that she was going to have the things that she has now. She knew it was coming. And another thing that she shared is she's still on her way, that she hasn't arrived yet. She's still on her way. And David basically let me know that it's the same thing. Just like a person can ask a question, how did you feel in the fifth grade as opposed to the ninth grade? And most people would tell you, I felt exactly the same. You know what I'm saying? But there was also a gradual progression. I went to the fifth grade to the sixth grade to the seventh grade, so on and so on. So these type of things took place. But in the process of the progression, they didn't feel any differently. Okay? They didn't feel any different. So because they didn't feel any different, it reminded me of conversations that I've had when birthdays have come around and they ask me, okay, so you're a year older now, how do you feel? And I always would say, like, I don't feel any different. You know what I'm saying? I'm a year older, and it's, being recorded or chronicled on today or however you want to say it, but I didn't necessarily feel any different. So here's what I've learned that is so powerful about manifesting. You don't feel any different when you gain certain levels of success. Like, say if your goal was to make six figures, or if your goal was to make seven figures, or if your goal was to win the Pulitzer Prize or whatever. A lot of people, and I've heard this from a lot of successful people, and this is another reason why this clicked for me, because I've heard it in a lot of different ways, but not in the way that it's been revealed to me that I'm actually going to share with you. So there's people who say that they wanted to make $100,000, and when they start to make the six figures, for one, they don't feel any different. They're just making six figures, right? Instead of what they were making before. Number two, they still kind of don't feel like they're making enough. You know what I'm saying? They still kind of feel like they're struggling, things of that nature, even though at this point they're making six figures. And so I've also heard this from people who have made seven figures. that they felt like they was going to feel different because now they're making 7 figures, but they don't feel any different now that they're making 7 figures. And I've been studying Myron Golden a whole lot. He's talking about becoming the person that can do the thing, right? So he mentions, and Miles Monroe mentions this as well, in the process of becoming the person to do the thing, you need to read certain books, go to seminars, go to conferences, get around people who believe what you believe, get around positive people, people who are going to encourage you, empower you, people who are positive like you, and things of that nature. So here's what dawned on me. Here's what dawned on me. Everything that you think you're manifesting, you believe that we believe that we're bringing something into existence that doesn't exist. It actually already exists. The home that you want already exists. The car that you want to drive already exists. The promotion already exists. The spouse already exists. The children already exist. Now, you might say, if it already exists, where is it? How come I'm not sitting in this car? How come I'm not sitting in this house? How come, I don't see it around me? And so the only reason why you don't see it is because you haven't gotten aligned yet. You haven't gotten aligned with what your creator's purpose for you has already been. So it's not so much that you're manifesting these things. What you're manifesting is you. So when you get aligned with your purpose, when you get aligned with your calling, when you get aligned with what the creator has for you, then everything else is going to come to a place where now it's tangible because you've got aligned. God says to in scripture, he says in Jeremiah, before you were in your mother's womb, I knew you. So he didn't say, before you in your mother's womb, I knew you were coming. Before you in your mother's womb, I knew you were going to manifest one day. No, he said, before you in your mother's womb, I knew you, which means we were already there. We were already there. We were already there. We were already in existence. Not to the point where you see us now, but we were already in existence. And when it was time for the people to line up, when it was time for the people to line up in a way for us to be able to come into manifestation as you see us in this form. You know what I'm saying? Them lining up brought us here into the form that we are right now. So you lining up, me lining up with my original purpose and with the plan that the creator has for me, the purpose and the plan that God has for me lining up is going to transfer the energy of everything that it is that God already has for me, that already exists. The energy is going to be transferred into the form through which I can actually touch it. It already exists. Are you following what I'm saying? The things that you are longing for, the things that you are dreaming for already exist. There's something else that I've learned a while ago, and that is that everything is energy. So when we line up, we attract the right energy. When we line up, I believe we can actually even shift energy. You know what I'm saying? Because we are made in the image and likeness of God. So we have the power to create things. We have the power to make things. You understand what I'm saying? But we have to line up with our creator. The reason why a lot of us are having a hard time grasping this concept is only because we don't fully understand who we are. We don't fully understand who we are. Once we fully understand who we are, it's going to be easy to manifest. It's going to be easy to manifest because what we know we'll have to do in order to have any of the things that we have or the things that we know we're supposed to have is make sure that we're lined up, is make sure that we're in sync with God the way we're supposed to be with God. We're in sync with the universe the way we're supposed to be in sync with the universe, because all of the elements that dwell within the universe also dwells within us. So being that we are living beings, spirit beings that are having a human experience, and we have to understand that too. Some of us don't have that foundation, so I'm have to back that all the way up. We are not humans having a spiritual experience. We are spirits, speaking spirits, having a human experience, right? We're made in the image and likeness of God. We are speaking spirits having a human experience. So being a speaking spirit, having a human experience, it sets the priority in our mind. It sets the pecking order in our mind. What's first and foremost? What's the most important? And that us being spirit. So with us being spirit, there are a lot of things that we do have access to that it doesn't necessarily take a lot of time to access, because a spirit is not locked into time nor space. So understanding that a spirit is not locked into time nor space, not everything has to happen in a long process or you know time period of process. You understand what I'm saying? Or a time period of progress. There's some things that can happen or manifest even instantaneously. But what we need to do is get in sync. We need to line up, because everything that you know that's yours, it is yours. For real. And we have to understand there is no space for doubt. Like, we have to know it. If you know it, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to operate in fear. If you know it, you're not going to procrastinate. If you know it, you're not going to second guess yourself. If you know it, you're not going to have to feel like you need to level up or you need to become something or someone else in order to have the things that you know you're supposed to have. Because like I told you, those multimillionaires that I spoke to, they said they didn't feel any different. So that's telling me straight up, they didn't have to become a whole nother person to have the things that they have now. They didn't have to become a whole nother person, right? To be able to enjoy the lifestyle they have right now. They are still them. So when you reach that point of success, where that success manifests, when that relationship manifests, when that promotion manifests, you're still going to be you. You're not going to be you, but a different you. No, you're still going to be you. I think there's too many times we try to separate who we need to be in order to be able to have certain levels of success, because there has been confusion that has been placed in the earth realm, right? So we all know the devil's out to kill, steal, and destroy. We all know also that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them that are called according to his purpose. Romans 8:28. Now, 2 Chronicles 7:14 also says, and this also adds to my point, that God says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray, seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, and I will forgive their sin and heal their land. Now, there's two major points I want to hit on this. Very scripture, 2 Chronicles 7:14. What is the sin? I'm gonna start from the end. What is the sin? The sin is forgetting who we are in God, forgetting who we are in Christ. That is the sin. So, because of that, we've stepped away from living the life, speaking how we're supposed to be speaking, you know what I'm saying? Doing the things we're supposed to be doing on a regular basis, because we forgot who we are. We forgot who we are. So, and I'm going to bring it back to the forefront, to the beginning of the verse. He said, if my people. So there's an understanding that we belong to God. I belong to God. You belong to God. We are God's people. Because of things that we've done, no, I would back up. Because we forgot who we were, we made some decisions to live a life that God is not pleased with. But the sin is not what we did. The sin is going back to the beginning of it. Because God says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. The heart, the very core of your being. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So when we are not aligned with who we are not in sync with God the way we are supposed to be, because of the fact that we forgot who we were. Because remember, in the book of Job, God was asking him if he remembered, where were you when I did this? Where were you when I did that? He was letting Job know, you were there, but you don't remember. You were there. We were already with God in the beginning. We were already there with him. We already existed. See, because we have to understand, just because you don't see something with your eyes, just because you don't see something with your eyes, doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. I'll give you an example. Now, those of us who are in America, right? Right now, we can't physically see the Taj Mahal where we are. If we're in our living room, even if we watch it on TV, we look at a picture of the Taj Mahal, we're not there in person looking at the Taj Mahal. Just because we're not in that place right? On those coordinates on the planet. Just because we're not there, it doesn't mean that the Taj Mahal doesn't exist. Like I said, spirit is not restricted to time nor space. And I believe the same is true with energy. But we do know that energy can't be destroyed, but just transferred. You know what I'm saying? So understanding that, those two things right there, I'll go back to saying that the things that you're dreaming for, hoping for, believing for, already exists. It already exists. Now you want it in your possession where you can see it, then you have to line up. You have to get in sync. I have to get in sync if we want to see it. Now, there are some things that we know we need to be doing. There are some things that we know we need to say to some people. There's some things we know we need to say to ourselves. There are some things we know we need to be reading. There are places we need to be going. There are networking events. There are people that we need to meet. And here's another part of the realization for me. Meeting those people is part of the manifestation. Reading those books that we know we're supposed to read is part of the manifestation. It's part of the success. It's part of the act of the success. It doesn't change who we are. We still are who we are. I'm still Freddie Johnson. You're still whatever your name is, right? You still are who you are. But the steps that you're taking is just you lining up, you getting in sync. Because the steps that you're taking doesn't start with the physical step. It's starting here and it's starting in your heart. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So we always think. And that's another reason why it's powerful, the name of the book, Think and Grow Rich, because we always think before we do anything. And that's why the word also says, let this mind be in you, the same which is in Christ Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Who thought it not robbery to be one with God. We are spirit beings having a human experience. Hope we're getting this. We are spirit beings having a human experience. So what we really need to do is take the limits off. Take the limits off of your thinking. Take the limits off. And it doesn't matter what you've been through in the past. It doesn't matter who said some negative stuff to you. It doesn't matter who tried to get in your way and put limitations on you. When you place yourself in position where you can remember who you are, it's going to take all the limits off. And you're not going to have to play mental ping pong to take the action that you need to take in order for cause and effect, the law of cause and effect, to manifest. In order for the law of cause and effect to kick in. You understand what I'm saying? And when the effect comes, when the manifestation comes, when the realization comes, it's not because you change who you are. You're already a millionaire. You already have the promotion. You're already successful. You already have, you know what I'm saying, the relationship. The relationship is already yours, right? The children, if it's children, they're already yours. It's all already yours. Right now. Right now. Can you feel it? It's already yours. Don't allow a second thought to get in the way of the truth. See, there's a difference between the facts and the truth. The fact may be that the money is not in your hand yet, but the truth is that the money is yours. That's the truth. The truth is that the money is yours. Understand, facts can always change. So don't lean on facts to determine your mental state. Don't allow the facts to determine your heart's posture. Don't allow the facts to determine your feelings. Don't allow the facts to determine your self-esteem. Don't allow the facts to determine who you are. Because the facts don't even determine who you are. Give you an example. It may be a fact that you committed a crime last week. But the truth may be you're not a criminal. You're not a criminal. Now, there's some people who would try to put that on you, that because you committed a crime last week, that you are a criminal. Being a criminal is not your nature. You weren't created to be a criminal. And you're in a position where you're not necessarily committing a crime right now. You're watching a video. You understand what I'm saying? There's no crime in that. I hope you can allow yourself to separate carnal thoughts with spiritual thoughts. If you can separate limited facts to unlimited truth. If you can separate deception from an evil spirit or a person who yields to an evil spirit to the truth from a God that can't lie, from a human being who is making an honest effort to convey this truth to you. Once we can really grasp where we are, and thank you for stopping by, thank you for tuning in. Once you can really grasp who you really are, there's nothing that's going to be able to stop you. You may be tired, traffic may be bad. Understand, these are all facts. I hope you're getting this. You may not feel well one day. Something may happen to a family member or a friend. These are all facts. Possible facts. But the truth is, you are who you are. The truth is what's yours. The truth is manifestation is admission. When you're going through the act of saying or speaking about the things that are yours, I'm a multimillionaire, I'm wealthy, I'm blessed in the city, I'm blessed in the field, I'm blessed going out, I'm blessed coming in, my mind is blessed, my body is blessed, my family is blessed, I have the promotion, I'm making, $3 million a month, so on and so forth, right? That act of manifesting through spoken word is it's an admission. You're admitting who you are. You're admitting what's yours. It's a confession. You are confessing who you are. You are confessing what's yours. You're not just saying, you're not just professing. You know what I'm saying? It's not just words. It's a confession. It's an admission. You are admitting who you are. Man, this is so powerful. I hope y'all getting this. You're admitting who you are. You're speaking in agreement with what God has already spoken over you. It's not like no abracadabra type stuff. You're not bringing something into existence that doesn't exist. That's not what you're doing. It already exists. You are already him. You are already her. You're just getting in sync. You're just getting in alignment with who you're already supposed to be, with who God said you already are. You're getting an agreement. You're submitting your will, just like Jesus did. You're submitting your will to do the will of the Father. Sometimes we want to run. Sometimes, and this is just how we feel, it's feelings. Sometimes we feel like running. Sometimes we feel like hiding. Sometimes we feel like going to sleep. Sometimes we feel like giving up. We feel like quitting, okay? Sometimes we feel like running through a wall. Sometimes we feel like breaking something. Sometimes we feel like, hugging the wrong person. Sometimes we feel like sleeping with the wrong person, knowing that that person is the wrong person, but we want to sleep with them. However, if you're getting in sync with what the truth about you is, you're getting in sync with who you are. God says, I am the righteousness of God through Christ. So when I get in alignment with who I am, there's certain things that I'm not going to want to do, right? There's certain things I'm just going to refuse to do because I know who I am. There are certain things I'm going to run to do because I know who I am. I'm not going to procrastinate. I'm not going to hesitate. I'm not going to second guess the move. I'm going to go ahead and do it. And guess what? I might have some challenges doing it. There might be some opposition against me doing it, but I'm still going to do it. Why? Because I know who I am. So, because I know who I am, I know what mission I'm on. I know what my itinerary. Sorry, it's late. I know what my itinerary is. Right. I know what my mission is. I know what my purpose is. I know what time I'm supposed to do everything that I'm supposed to do. Now, sometimes it may be a process of us fully accepting who we are and really seeing it clearly. So in that process, if that happens, that may take time. That may take some trial and error to perfect it. You know what I'm saying? The more we put in the effort to hear the voice of God, the more we're going to know his voice, the less we're going to have to deal with confusion when it comes to knowing what time to do this or to do that, knowing what time to pursue this or pursue that, knowing, if I'm staying in a relationship too long, do I need to leave now? Should I have left yesterday? You know what I'm saying? Starting new relationships, you know, um, getting guidance on where to find these individuals or groups or organizations that we're supposed to connect with through, okay, boom, check Eventbrite. We might hear a voice tells us, check Eventbrite, see what's going on tonight. We go on Eventbrite, come to find out, hey, I'm in real estate. There's a networking event going on, and agents are invited. Future agents, people who are interested in real estate, people who are interested in investing, people who are interested in wholesaling are all invited. Brokers are all invited. So, okay, I know what I got to do. It might be something you have on your schedule that you might need to clear up. Hey, listen, I had something that come up, an emergency. Can we meet up tomorrow? Oh, yeah, sure. I was going to call you anyway. Sometimes this stuff really lines up. Yeah, I was going to call you anyway. I got a little situation. My cat got lumpuckaroo. You know what I'm saying? Got a severe case. I'm not going to be able to make it tonight. Oh, cool. Bet. Tomorrow. Boom. That's out the way. You know how many like steps just to do what I just mentioned, a person normally has to go through in their mind if they're trying to do it in their own power, if they're trying to do it in a way that they're not lined up with God, but they're not lined up with the Creator. But if you're lined up with the Creator, we hear and we obey. We hear and we obey. We hear and we obey. We don't have to figure anything out. It's already been worked out. We already are who we're supposed to be. We already have what we're supposed to have. So we hear, obey, hear, obey, hear, obey, hear, obey, hear, obey. Prayer is not designed for us to give God our wish list. Prayer is designed for us to get in sync through communication with God. Get in sync, get on one accord. And when you do that early in the morning, it makes our day so much easier. We don't have to play mental ping pong when it comes to making decisions on, what am I going to eat? Where am I going to, get this outfit that I need for this event that's coming up? Or, should I take this left? Should I take this right? Which way, which route should I go? It'll be almost like being locked in a GPS. Take a right here, take a left here, and if you miss a turn, hey, take a U-turn here. You know what I'm saying? The instructions are going to be so simple. And you know what? It's so much less stressful living life that way. It's so much less confusing. It's so much less frustrating living life that way. And it's all because we made a decision to get in sync. We made a decision to get aligned with God. And when we make a decision to get aligned with God, we don't have to stress the actions, right? It won't be so much like, because sometimes it feels like that. Taking certain actions or trying to make a decision to take certain actions, it feels like, and some people just basically just call it making decisions, feels like lifting weights. When you're not in sync, making decisions feel like lifting weights. And after a while, you're going to get fatigued. You're gonna get fatigued. You're gonna get tired of making decisions, and you'll be at a restaurant. At the end of the night, after making decisions all day, you might have been in meeting after meeting, trying to make decisions on your own. You know what I'm saying? How are we going to do this merger, or what are we going to, say to this old company that we were connected with, but we going to have to, choose not to renew the contract. Who are we going to call? What are we going to say to them? What's the script? What's the story we're telling them? Blah, blah, blah. So you're making all these decisions all day long, and then you're finally at a restaurant at the end of the night, and you're just like, surprise me. You just say it to the waiter or the waitress. Surprise me. I'm so tired of making decisions. Everything looks good. I can't decide on what I want to get. Just surprise me. And I got a good tip for you, because you've already decided earlier in the day how much you're going to tip the waiter or the waitress, right? If we allow ourselves to be guided by God, going through daily life is not going to be so hard. It's not going to be so much of a challenge. And you're going to find things manifesting in your life like clockwork. God says, my yoke is easy, my burden is light. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me. And so when we do that, what's gonna happen is we're gonna be guided in all the right directions, because we're gonna know who God is. When we know who God is, we know who we are. When we learn who God is, we learn who we are. Because we're in sync, we're in alignment. So we learn who we are. Because we're made in his image and likeness. So to know God is to know yourself. To learn God is to learn yourself. After you've done that, the rest is easy. He said, if my people, so we belong to him from the get-go, from the beginning, who are called by my name, will humble themselves and pray, and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways. Then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sins and heal their land. So it's just a matter of remembering right from the jump that we're his. So we understand that we're his first and foremost. We're going to remember who we are. We're going to remember whose we are. So then it's going to be easy to pray. It's going to be easy to put sinful things down. It's going to be easy to lay aside every weight and sin that so easily besets us, because we remember who we are. We remember whose we are. So then what happens automatically that is our sins are forgiven because we humbled ourselves, because we prayed. And we remember who we are. And God knows we're not going to walk in that way anymore. Right? Just living a sinful life, doing whatever. I'm not saying we're not going to miss the mark sometimes, but we're not going to walk in that old mindset of forgetting who we are. We're not going to walk in that old mindset of just walking in darkness and just doing whatever, living however. Right? So then our sins will be forgiven and our land will be healed. Because we got lined up, because we got in sync. So everything else falls into place. Why? Because we were created to have power and dominion on the earth. So when we do that, right? Everything that we have power and dominion over, because we got in sync, gets in sync with us. Because it doesn't have the option to choose. Creation, other than human beings, don't have the option to choose. Money doesn't have an option to choose whether or not it wants to rock with us. Houses, cars, clothes don't have the option to choose. We have the option to choose whether or not we want to line up. We have the option to choose whether or not we want to get in sync. So when we give up our will to do the will of God, everything else that's under our authority doesn't have a will. Doesn't have a will. We get lined up everything else get lined up. We get in sync. That's why it says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Because all of those other things don't have a will, don't have the freedom of choice. They don't. So what happens? We call it. We tell it what to do. Just like Adam was given the authority to name the animals. The name that he gave them is the name that they have. They couldn't say, a cow could be like, I don't want to be called a cow. I ain't with it. That's not cool. Right? A dog could say, I don't want to be called a dog. Don't call me that. You tripping. You know what I'm saying? Whatever he named them, that was his name. So we made in the image and likeness of God. God said, you're his child. God said, you're blessed. God said that. So if God said that about you, that's what you are. If you believe anything else, you're out of sync. If you believe anything else, you're out of alignment. But when you get in alignment with what God has spoken over you, you're going to start seeing things manifest. It doesn't have to take a long time. Why? Because you're a spirit being that's not restricted to time or space. We're just having a human experience. And in this human experience, being in this fleshly body, to some degree, we do have to deal with time and space, but not when it comes to everything. Hope we're getting this. This is so good. This is so good. I hope we're getting this. This right here is freeing me. Just last week, I was thinking, like, God, I know I am. I just don't feel free. I was very cautious on how I said that. I said, I know I'm free, but I just don't feel free. I didn't feel free. I knew I was free. It's a fact. It's the truth. But the fact was, I didn't feel free. But I'm in a place right now, especially with this revelation, that I feel very free. And I thank God for this freedom. And the word says, who the Son sets free is free indeed. And I feel very, very free. So with that freedom, as we all know, comes responsibility. But responsibility doesn't have to be a weight. Responsibility only means to respond with ability. So you just do as you are able to do. That's it. Just do as you are able to do. Don't worry about anything else. Just do as you are able to do and get that done, and then boom, that's it. It's out of your hands. So the rest is in God's hands. Pray that he will fill in the gap. Pray that he will take care of the rest. You know what I'm saying? And if there's more that he could give you, either later on that day or on a later date, then so be it. Receive it and work it. I hope this is helping you be in position where moving forward, you'll be able to manifest some great things, see some great things in your life. Why? Because you got aligned, because you got in sync with God. All right. So I hope this helped. Hope this helped. It's already yours. You're already successful. You're already blessed. It's already done. It's already done. Refugee Garcia, happy birthday. I'm sorry. Didn't see it earlier. I didn't have my glasses on. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. But I'll talk to y'all later. If this helped any of y'all, please share it. Please share it. Please share it. And let's make some big things happen. But I'll holler at y'all later. Have a blessed night. Love y'all. Peace and blessings.